Okay, so by a show of hands, who has ever accepted money that's ever been offered to you? Just off top. Okay. All right, well, today I'd like to explain the complexities of being a student athlete. Okay. First one. Okay. So, in high school laws and college laws, you're not supposed to get paid to play sports. It's kind of, I don't know, I guess it's wrong. I don't feel it's wrong because all the hard work that goes into it. Being a student athlete means, I don't know, some people kind of judge you being a student athlete as, oh, well, he gets answers to a test, or he gets passed on because he's a football player or a jockey, so to speak. But to be honest with you, we actually have to work harder than the average student and pretty much anybody else that considers jockeys to be easygoing people who get stuff handed to them. Reggie Bush, for example. Now, he got his Heisman revoked from him because he accepted money. And that was wrong, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you need money and somebody's offering it to you, who in the right mind is going to reject it? Nobody that I know of. So he got his Heisman revoked because he accepted money. Now, where I'm from, West Covina, California, South Hills High School, we were getting evaluated because we were supposedly undergoing certain circumstances that were like, everybody swore up and down that we were paying students to come and play for us. I was supposed to be getting paid, my friend Ron Snell was getting paid, Jordan Canada, so to speak. You know, we had a strong team. Everybody loved to hate our school just because we beat everybody we played against. And our main evaluator was Rob Hernandez. He was our student body president's father. And he went down to CIF and basically threw a couple numbers in front of their faces and let them know that, oh, well, everybody's coming here because any other school that they go to, if they play against South Hills, they're going to lose. Who likes to lose? Nobody. So everybody's like, oh, okay, well, that's understandable. I mean, you switching schools because who likes being on a losing team? I don't. Okay. Ineligibility. Now that is a big, big factor. He got benched. Rashawn Dickery. He got benched. He played for Georgia Tech, and he got benched because he couldn't keep his grades up. And it's not hard to stay above a 2.0, is it? I don't think it's hard. That's C average. And basically, when I was undergoing ineligibility, it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever been through in my life. Because your coach, I think it was 2008. I was a sophomore. I was ignorant. But basically, I was failing math, English, and science. I don't know how the hell I failed English. I speak English. But I didn't like it. And my whole team knew about me failing my classes. Oh, well, we're losing. Let's point the finger at him. I mean, it is kind of my fault because I let my grades drop, but it was me and like 6 other starters that also were failing. So it's like, for us to we have all these resources, like we have tutoring, we have people that are there to help us because we're student athletes, but it's like, after having a 5 to 6 or a 4 to 5 hour practice, who wants to do tutoring? Who wants to do homework? Not me. I was tired, and to be honest with you, I wasn't really working hard, and it was difficult for me at that time because I was like, I don't know if it was more or less my pride, but I was embarrassed that I was failing. So it's like, if you fail as a student athlete, you're a failure to everybody because you have all these resources. Most students, I'm sure you guys have to pay for tutoring, right? Most likely. We don't. I mean, that's a plus, but we got to go to work and then come back, and we're all stinky and smelly when we go to the ring. I don't like the smell. I don't. Okay, hard work. Student athlete, okay? Student is your main thing. If you talk to any coach, they want you to be a student before they want you to be an athlete. So if you're a student first, you work hard in books, you're getting, B average in every class, they like you. And then if you work even harder in the weight room, they love you. They're in love with you. Oh my God, he's a phenomenal athlete, and he's smart. Somebody get him a scholarship. And that's what we're working to. That's what I'm working to. So my main thing was, I think it was my junior year, I had a 3.87 and I was starting running back and outside linebacker. I don't know what I was doing. I just got tired of being a loser. Like, I mean, failing classes is kind of embarrassing, and then it's like when you bring home a 3.87 GPA to your parents, you feel good, don't you? Or you feel good to yourself. And then you're scoring like 2 or 3 touchdowns a game. I mean, damn, that's, your confidence level is up here, man. You like, yeah, all right, I'm on top of the clouds. And basically, hard work for a student athlete is it's difficult to be a student athlete, but if you're an athlete, then you're most likely like, you have a lot of people looking at you and depending on you. You have a lot riding on it. Like, if we fail, we don't get to play. I mean, for average students, for average students who fail, what? You guys have to repeat the class. So we don't get to play our games and we have to repeat the class. That's 2. And to be honest with you, being a student athlete is really hard. So having people always point the finger like, oh, you guys have it easy. It's not easy at all. Because you have 4 to 5 hour practice, like I said earlier. You got to go to tutoring. You have tests, and that's not including the homework after tutoring. So it's like, studies show from Ron Lindenberger, he's a personal trainer at my school. He showed that 9 to 10 athletes lose, I think, 4 to 6 hours of sleep more. So instead of getting 9 hours of sleep, solid 9 hours of sleep, we actually get, what, 5 or 3, depending on what time. Most athletes don't like going to sleep, you know, cupcaking on the phone with your girlfriend or booty call, whatever the case may be. And if you add all that up, then we actually have a lot more on us, like lack of sleep, we don't get to eat as much, all this stuff. But when we do have things on point, like, you know, tutoring, we get out of practice early, having a good practice, you're doing well in school, you go to sleep on time, you feel better, and it's like everything is so much more easier. So basically, being a student athlete is difficult, but you can do it if you put your mind to it. In conclusion, I hope you understand the complexities of being a student athlete. Thank you. Okay. No, that was mine.
What happened?
I logged out of mine.
Oh.
He was logged onto his own personal.
What is yours? Or do you...
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Sure, I'm gonna tell you how to log in on it. It's me. Thank you. No, hang on a second. It's okay. It's okay. Hang on. There you go. Michael, tell us what you thought of
Maurice's presentation.
I thought it was an interesting speech. Made me actually ponder the intricacies of being both a student and athlete at the same time. I liked how casual you were. It seemed like you were pretty much at ease the whole time. One criticism that I might make was, it seemed at the beginning your thesis was not totally clear to me. Kind of seemed like you just jumped right into showing some examples, which were really good. Like the Reggie Bush, another guy that was, didn't have the high enough GPA. Those were really helpful to see your point of view. But it didn't feel like until like your conclusion at the end that I really got where you were going with the whole thing.
All right. Yeah, I think that your exit line is a clearer statement of what your purpose was than you had at the beginning. But I did think that you had a statement of your purpose at the beginning of the speech. What is missing in the introduction is a preview of what the content is going to be. And I think that as a result, I sometimes felt a little bit like you were just wandering on the topic. And I know that that can't be the case because you have visuals planned as transitions between the points, so there's got to be a structure there. but it's not a structure that I thought was easy to detect. I couldn't tell you what the main points were that you were trying to make and review how they all fit together. That was part of the issue at the end too. I think you needed a summary to go with that exit line. You had the good exit line. A little bit of a summary could have rescued maybe some of those organizational issues while you were speaking. I did like the visuals as transitions. They kind of remind us that you are moving to some other subject. It just needed to be clear what that subject was at each point. The personal experience, I think, is fine. I think you needed to get a little bit more research into the presentation. You had a couple of examples that you used. I got to be honest with you. You got the Reggie Bush details wrong, because he didn't take the cash, his parents did. But how does the rule apply in that particular situation? By the way, his Heisman wasn't revoked. He voluntarily gave it up before they could revoke it. Preemptive, trying to protect his ego, I suppose. And of course I would know this about Reggie. I wouldn't necessarily know it about anybody else. Yeah. I thought you had a subject that is pretty good. It does seem, however, that because of the way you present it and use your personal experiences, it sometimes comes across as if you are pleading your case instead of sharing information with us about what's going on. It's almost persuasive. You don't quite get to the point that says, woe is me, and I have such a sad life, take pity on me, that sort of thing. That's not, but you're on the brink of that, and that's not what you want to do. You want to tell us, I like the point where you talked about, look, here's how much practice we have to do on a regular basis. You're doing 5-hour practices a day. That seems like it's a pretty long day, and then on top of that you've got those other things. However, when you talk about lack of sleep and it's because you're on the phone with some girl or going out looking at a booty call, all of a sudden my level of sympathy for you goes down a little bit. Yeah, you got to take a shower because you got that booty call later on. I understand that, but don't forget that you're going to be ineligible because you didn't go to your math tutor. That should be an issue that comes in a little bit. And I know that you're trying to juggle those things and put it in the perspective of any normal student who's ought to have a social life as well. And I think that you missed some opportunities there. And instead, like I said, it makes it sound a little too much like, well, here's a story about how tough my life was. And I don't really think that's the point that you were trying to make. All right, and like I said, the visuals don't add anything to the speech per se, but they do help give us those transitions. And the one place where I think you had something that's added were the 2 athletes that you showed who had problems with eligibility and issues that came up there. Of course, I don't want to go. Okay, thank you.